Welcome, friends, to another week of the Art of Planning and Journaling. This is my normal Plan With Me session that I do every single week here in the Craft Hub. This is also later downloaded and streamed over onto my YouTube channel. So for those that are watching my YouTube channel later, thank you for joining me. For those of you in the Craft Hub, thank you for hanging out with me. I love to be able to come live with you. I'm sorry that I missed last week. But we are continuing on our journey with the Art of Planning and Journaling in our Tea in the Garden set. Now, I'm going to take a few minutes to go through a couple of new pages that I did not show you last week in my large journal version. And then we're going to dive into our weekly planning session. I tried a new technique this week, and I think it's really something cool that you can try if you are a little bit more adventurous. So I'm just going to say that, but we're going to go in and check in to see what we're doing in the Art of Planning and Journaling in my large version. So we've seen these pages before. Moving on. I'm not sure if I showed you guys this page, so I'm going to start here. So this is the an opportunity for me to have a reading tracker that tracks time. Now, granted, Tool 12 has an amazing reading tracker. You can check out more about that over on the website. But I wanted to kind of track how much time I spent reading versus the pages that I read. Am I distracted? All of those kinds of things. So you will see that I've gone through the first 6 days. I did really good the first 3 days because those were all weekends. So I could get a lot of reading done. In fact, on Saturday, I read for 7 hours and 43 minutes, friends. That's a lot of reading. Okay. So what I did for this one is I just set it up with a time across the top. And then I gave myself an hour and a half, essentially. On most days, I'm not reading for 7 hours. You'll see here 20 minutes, 26 minutes. I was finishing a book this day and I just couldn't put it down. So that's why that one's an hour and 45 minutes. But I just gave myself an hour and 30 minutes to work with. Every 2 blanks, I made 10-minute increments. So you could essentially fill them in with the 5 minutes as well. Over here, this one's right here, I utilized a light board. So I got these designs actually off of Canva, printed them, saved them as a PDF, printed them out, and then I used a light board. This is my light board of choice. A nice little Amazon find. So you can pop on, and it's fairly cheap. I am not a big proponent for spending a lot of money. So that's how that design came to be, and then I just colored it up. So that's the first one. The second one I want to share with you, and I shared this one on Tuesday in our Stencil Tip Tuesday because I shared with you guys the little teacup stack. But what I didn't show is the rest of it. So it says brew up a sweat, and I made 30 little tea bags, and in the tea bags I've been tracking my workouts, how long I've been doing, like if I'm walking, how many miles I'm walking, and then walking, running, etc. Like on this day I did walking and core, so lots of different things that you can track in these little tea bags. That was a really fun one to put together. The next page, I actually did 2 separate ones. They don't really coincide with each other. But the first one says the Tea-central list of must-do moments for tea lovers. And then I just made a list of things that you can do while you're drinking a cup of tea. If I complete one, then I'm going to go ahead and just write the date on there throughout the course of the month. I'm not a huge tea drinker, but I do like a chai every once in a while. So if there is that moment that I'm sitting down and just calm, then there's this. This one actually shared on my page yesterday and had some of my customers and friends actually fill out the list, but it says daily steep a word a day to brew over. So what I did was I had them I asked them to give me a word a day that they would use in November that they could like really just contemplate on. And then I filled all those in, and it was a lot of fun just to kind of see what they thought, first of all, and then second of all, to add those days in there. So those are our 3 pages. I will show you 3 new pages next week, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, let's dive into our weekly planning. Now, as mentioned at the beginning of this video, I did something a little bit different in here that I have never done before. I was a little bit adventurous, and what I will tell you is that if you do not like to have papers that are not straight, thin, or straight and wrinkle free, this is not something you're going to want to try. But what I did was I brewed a cup of tea, and actually did it on the strongest version, so not a lot of water and a whole lot of tea. And then I used my tea bag. I mopped it up on a towel. And then I used that to set the background for the page we're going to work on today. Woo-hoo. Trust me, I tested it first on another page before I dove in. So this is the page we're working with. Now, I said it's a little bit wrinkly. I did do I made sure that the majority of the water was out of the tea bag before I dropped the thing. And then I just kind of blotted it on here to get the desired effect. Now, it did not bleed through on this side of the paper, and it did not bleed through on this side of the paper. The only thing that it did was create waves in my paper. So if you want to use something like this or test out something like this, I highly recommend that you do it in an insert that you don't love. I pulled a page out of the dot grid book that I had laying around, and I tried different techniques. I tried rubbing it. I didn't like that because it made the paper kind of come off. And then I tried blotting, and I was like, ooh, I like that. But I had to make sure that I had all the water out because you'll see that it came through on the other side. So that's the technique I used today. I wanted to test it out before I came on here and showed you all the mess that was on my paper. But I love the effect, and I'm excited to work with it. We're going to just dive right in and do the things. So I did a lot of the drawing out portion first. This is not in any of our, at least I don't think it's in any of our layouts. Let me just take a look real fast. It might be, and I just totally missed it. Where is my insert? That has, oh, maybe that's it. No, that's a dot grid. Oh, Lordy, there it is. We're going to take a look in there real quick and see if it's a layout in here. I didn't look before I created it. I just grabbed it and drew. So it may or may not be. We'll see. Very similar to this one. Just change in the placement of so instead of 4 squares here and 2 squares here, I took out these 2 center squares. So that might be, ooh, fun. Let's see. Maybe not. Oh, there's another version, just 2 squares missing. That might have been where it came from. And then I just decided to take 2 squares out. So not a definite layout in the Bujo, but you can see that it matches 2 of them. So there is the possibility that you can draw it out and use just the squares. All right, I need a ruler, and we're just going to get started. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and lay out the squares. You guys have kind of already see where the squares are. I penciled them in so that I had an idea where I didn't want to get the T on there. It's definitely a creative idea. Again, we'll see how well I fare with it being all wrinkly. But I could probably, if worst comes to worst, I can get out the ironing board and lay the papers on there and iron them out. Probably won't come to that. But I could also just, put them in, set them up and then, or close it and then stack a bunch of planners on top of it. There's that as well. I mean, I have boxes of books I can probably put on it to make that happen. So what we're going to do is just fill out our little squares here. My original idea behind doing this particular one was using a stamp pad. And there's like a buff brush or whatever they're called, where you kind of you put the brush in the stamp ink and then you brush it around like that. I have those. I have them in like a turquoise color, a purple, and a hot pink. And it wasn't jiving with my color palette that I had to work with. And I no longer have a brown ink pad. For some reason, I'm going to guess it was a cat because they're notorious for these kinds of things, knocked the lid off of my brown ink pad and my ink dried out. But I did not find that out until until I was moving my office to its new location. and it was in a spot where it would normally be okay, but apparently that it did not survive whatever happened to it. So that was my original idea. You would do a little bit of masking. So you would put like Post-it notes or something. You would cut it to be the size of this. And then you kind of mask it down. And then you would do that over the top of it. And I was like, I still want to have that effect, but how can I make that happen? And that's how I came to use the tea layout, or the tea, use the tea bags. So just, FYI, if you want to try something like this, keep in mind that it's going to make your paper wrinkly. Try to get as much of the water out of the tea bag as possible so that you don't have that, it will soak really badly into the paper. So that kind of helps alleviate it a little bit. And don't rub the tea bag on the paper because it causes the paper to pill up and make weak spots in your paper. So for anybody who's wanting to try it, that's my advice for the day. I am going to, what am I doing? Oh yes, I wanted to do this. Okay, so one thing that I like to do, so I like to get my handles so that they are super even. And I don't like hand drawing it. And so I flip the teacup over and then draw the line on the side down to the end. It works fantastically to make sure that your things all line up. Super helpful. If you are have that issue like I have that issue, it helps. I also don't love the bottom of this teacup. I don't know what it is with it. I just don't love it. So it was like to hand draw mine in there. And then for this part, I just go like this. There we go. Then we take the other side. See, we go like this, so that we can draw a line straight down. Don't necessarily need to trace that in the stencil. And then this allows you to have a little bit of freedom with your handle. Do some fun things with it if you choose to. So I just did a stack of 4, and the one that I showed you a little bit earlier, the layout that I did for the Brew Up a Sweat, was a 5 teacups tall. So, you can do whatever you like to. The other thing that I did with my teacups is that I could not figure out what kind of designs I wanted to do on them. So I actually went to Pinterest and pulled up a bunch of designs that I liked. And that's how I ended up with the layouts that I did for those. So I'll probably do something similar on these ones just because it's cute, and there's no teacup stack in this particular Art of Planning and Journaling journal or layout or insert or whatever. It's in my other one. All right, so I got all of my outline done. We're going to get out our pencil eraser and erase all of our lines, our line work. And then we'll get our handy little vacuum cleaner out. Are you guys tea drinkers? Are you coffee drinkers? Like, what do you most gravitate towards? Like, and if you're a tea drinker, is it like an all day thing, or just in the morning when it's quiet time, late at night when you're reading or getting ready for bed? Like, what's your go-to for tea? I am a chai drinker. I like chai tea. I'll drink it in the morning. If I'm like busy and working on something. I'm typically not a sit around and sip tea kind of person though. All right. Now for our layout, there was a couple of things I wanted to add. We're going to add some washi tape in here. And we're going to use some of our florals. I just have to find the sticker page. Coffee with tea as a treat. Oh, that's good. I had to find the page that has my sticker sheet on it, that has the florals on it, because that's all the florals I have left. I'm so sad. All right, I didn't like this bare spot right here, and I was like, how can I fix that? As I was drawing this part up, you guys didn't see this process. I was like, this debating with myself while I was drawing this page up. So I was like, oh, I can fix it with some washi tape and stickers. It'll be all good. So I'm going to go ahead and just do down to this dot right here. And we'll do this part up here. And again, I have not decided on a color palette necessarily, but I'm definitely going to be using some kind of most of these colors here. Let's do this red one on this one, and we'll do this and attach white on the top. All right, that kind of takes up that dead space. Did not love the dead space. On the other end, though, we are going to grab my small washi floral. And up here in this space, this is going to be where my to-do list lives. So we're going to just add this in. Twice a day, tea only after dinner. Mom and I have tea and play 4 rounds of Uno. Well, that sounds like an amazing day. I want to come hang out at your house. You have tea and have tea and drink Uno. I mean, have tea and play Uno. That sounds like so much fun. Okay, I need a little swatch. This is what I love having these things for. Like little pieces of washi tape that I didn't use for something, or that I cut off because it was longer than the page. And then we need the to-do sticker. There we go. To do. Done. Okay, so we're pretty much done with stickers, except I'm going to grab, you'll see me flipping back and forth here because we're going to use these date stickers on here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I need to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right in the middle of this box. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh, stop. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. I don't feel like that's very straight, but it'll have to do. Tuesday, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. There we go. And then we'll grab Wednesday, 1, 2, 3. I feel like there's going to be lots of olive on this page. 1, 2, 3. There's Thursday. I wish there was one that said weekend, though, because that's not straight either. Friday. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Lordy. That was not straight at all, friends. Part of the problem is that I feel like I'm standing on my head doing this, even though I'm not really. I'm not centered anymore. Oh, my thing. Yeah, I know. Put Sunday on the bottom. Oh, good idea. I love it when people come to watch me play, because then I'm like, what? I don't know what to do with this. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put Sunday on the bottom. Thank you, Mandy. I like my stack of teacups too. I'm excited to color them. 1, 2, 3. Ta-da. Okay, now we're back to center, right? Are we back to center now? I can put all my sticker sheets to the side and we can start thinking about what colors we want to incorporate. Because number one, this is boring. You know how I feel about that. I don't like boring. So let's flip back here for a minute and look at the colors I have that would kind of match with a olive color. Maybe this brown. Let's see. That's this color. We'll get our ruler out again. And then we're going to do our outline around our pages because I just don't love a dark brown line by itself. It's boring. Y'all agree with me? I agree with me because it's boring. Gotta add that little touch of color in there. And it kind of borders this, makes it border this T a little bit better, this background, without making it feel really overpowering. So then the next thing I need to do is I need to pick a color palette for my teacups. So when I did when I did this one originally, I'll show you guys this one again so you can reference. I used all the colors that I had for my, I used all the colors. Oh, I got things in my way here. I used all the colors in the color palette, and that was great for that particular thing because of how I was doing all my little tea bags. But I don't want to include all of these colors in here because I think it'll take away from this little stripe of color here. So I'll probably stick mainly in this color palette region area thing with like the olive greens and like this more tan color than I would with so we'll just have to look and see what colors I have that match this one. You know how I am with the matchy. Everything's got to be matchy. Sorry, we're not centered here again either, friends, because I can't see the top. And that presents a problem because I can't see the top of my insert. There we go. All right, we're moving over here. Let's add these ones in while we're thinking about it. Now this has blue and purple in it. I did not grab either one of those colors because essentially I went off of this color palette, right? The rusts and the ivories and the sage greens. So, so as I'm putting it together, I didn't pick out the colors that were in it. That's going to frustrate me. There we go. So that every time I go to pull this page, this up here, my stencil is catching on the edge of my page. It already ripped it over here. So leaf stencil is fantastic, but it's sometimes pain in the booty, especially if you have wrinkly paper. That's probably part of the reason why it's having issues and catching the edge of my paperwork. So we'll probably have some olives, olive green. We'll probably use this color in the teacup as well. We'll just have to see what else I have. Pull this up here so I can see. If you guys try this tea background technique, I want to see it because I'm kind of loving the vintage-ish background. I think it's kind of cool looking. Makes me want to get like old time teacups and Godfather clocks. Grandfather clocks. Godfather, grandfather, you know what I'm talking about. All right, make sure that you grab your rag or your Kleenex and you wipe off because yucky. Wipe off your stencil, especially if you use it for this purpose, because otherwise you're going to transfer that around on other things. All right, so I need a pencil because I have to decide what kind of shapes I want to do, and I have misplaced my pencil. So there it is. There's that. Let's see what colors we have. Oops. Let's see what colors we have to work with. So we're using like this color right here. And I definitely want to include an olive green color. More like, that's like almost too blue. I don't know. I kind of like that gray right there. That's not that gray. This is a gray. I have lots of grays. This is the problem, friends. Okay, I think that's that gray. And then I need a green color. All the choices, friends. You can throw out a color. I'm happy to grab it. That's just 3 colors though. So I kind of want to have I feel like I need to include like this Venetian red color. However, I do not necessarily love using these Faber, and although they're gorgeous, these Faber and Castell markers have a tendency to go through my paper. So I have to be very careful with those. And maybe this Sahara sand color, and maybe 5 colors will be enough. I don't know. That seems like a pretty fun color palette to me. So this is what we're going to work with. Yeah, rose. See, that's what I was thinking too. The rose color, it's really pretty. I just don't love what it does to my. So I'll just have to be very careful with it. I'll just have to be careful. Okay, here we go. So first we got to decide what kind of designs we want to do. I always like to see the ones that have got like this, like a rim, and then another rim. And then I like the tall stripes. So we're going to make kind of like the stripes like this. And of course, like, I don't love that because that looks like garbage. That's fine. There we go. So there's one option is stripes. I did love the crisscrosses that I did on this one page, the crisscrosses with the polka dots. I loved it. Let me see if I can find it again. This one, I loved the little crisscrosses on there. So that one was pretty easy to do. I can also do that in here. So let's do that one next. That one's really easy too. It's just a line across the top like so. And this might be where I utilize that rose colored marker. And then this is what I did. I just took the dots and I lined them up like so. And then I just drew lines like this and made the crisscross pattern. Have you finished with the previous page? No, I haven't finished working on the previous page because the previous page is this week's plan. So I still need it to somewhat function for me. Let's see, where am I at? So it'll be right in the middle of my tea bag. So I just have to be really careful about how it looks when it comes to the other side. It should be okay. I actually have learned a little trick with using them, and I might use that in order to make it work. And that is if I color with a colored pencil first, the waxy residue of the pencil allows it acts like a barrier. So in like you guys haven't seen this page, but you're going to see it right now because this is how I'm going to do it. This is my water tracker. So I picked out 5 colored pencil colors that matched those. And then I colored with a color pencil and then outline with it. So yeah. So I think that might be a way that I can get away with it without having to like worry about it like going through the middle. And then you just take your diagonals and go the other direction. So we're just going to go like, whoop, and whoop, like so. And we'll do the ones at top. And then you just go through when you put the line on there, wherever it crosses the line, you put a dot. So that's fun. All right, that's fun. I do like the polka dot version on the other teacup I did too. So let's do that one. And then of course I did not freehand those polka dots. I used a stencil for that too. So let me grab, I just used the basic check. So I'm going to do a double stripe. Did I do 2 or 3? I think I did 3 stripes. We'll see. Yep, I did 3 stripes. And then I did the polka dots. And then I used this and I drew in all the polka dots this way. No rhyme or reason. I just threw some polka dots on here. Fit them in after the fact. Like so. I think I need a polka dot in the corner. Like that. And then we have the one on the very front. I wonder, I was going to say, wouldn't it be kind of cool to do like a flower in the middle? But I don't love that. So, well, maybe. Let me see. Can I do this flower? No, I don't love that. Don't love that idea. So we could also do, the other thing that we can do is like a checkered pattern. I like that idea too. This one is really simple as well because you just use the lines and you draw them straight up and down. I didn't color in every other check on the last one that I made like this. I just did the dots similar to this one up there. So I think this time I'll just actually make them checkerboard pattern so that they can, so I can see every single one or every other one. You guys are full of great ideas today. I love having people watching. All right. I feel like I missed some lines on here for whatever reason. All right, so now we're gonna just go in and start coloring them in. We're using this color combination, which is an olive. This is this like beigey brown tan color, a rose, a light sand color, and then a deep gray. These are the color. This is the color palette that we're gonna use. So I think I'm gonna do this one in this checkerboard, just because I love this color. It's so pretty. It's like a rusty rose type color and it's gorgeous. I just have to be really careful with it because it will bleed through on the other side. And I said I was going to color it with colored pencil first and I forgot. So we're just going to deal with it. Come on, color. Thank you. And I'll show you what it does on the other side, just so that you guys have the, see, it's coming through the paper right there. Well, and then you just, we're just going to line up the lines and draw the lines like this. And flip it the other direction. The mailman is here. I wonder if he brought me anything good. I wonder if there's any 12 packages out there. And Then you just take this and you go, I'm not going to do every single one like I did last time. I think it was a little bit much. So you just do this pattern here where you kind of go every other square and do the little polka dots to kind of like that. There'd be one right here. So that's fun. All right, so that's this color. Let's see if I got those dots to go through. Oh, they didn't go through too bad. There's one spot right there, but that's not too bad. All right, we're done with that color. Let's do our checker pattern in this color. This is it's like a soft olive color. It's not like super drabby. You know how some olive colors can be really drab and feel like you're like picking the moss out of the bottom of a riverbed. This one is not like that. This is almost like almost kind of makes me think of like a holly berry. And then I'm going to use my other, so this is a double marker, double pointed marker. So I have the ability to like flip it and make softer lines. And then we're going to do a checkup pattern with this one. So every other. Wow, this neighborhood's popular right now. Now the UPS guy is outside. I know I don't have anything from UPS. All right, and then we're going to take this and we're going to, actually, before I do that, I want to erase some of those pencil marks in the background. And then we're going to just create our checkerboard pattern by filling in the checkerboard. This always reminds me of like the checkerboard pattern, maybe in brighter colors. Obviously, it reminds me of the Mad Hatter. I don't know why. This makes me think about teacups and the Mad Hatter having tea time. And excuse me. And so we just have to think about how we want to do our other two cups. So one is going to be polka dots and the other one is going to be stripes. And I think I will just use one color for each. The other thing I want to do, I think I don't love this white on this teacup. So I think that I might color the background with this. There we go. That gives me a little more color. And I might just do this color and on the background of all the cups so they're not like deep china white or brilliant china white. They're more like subdued colors. Also need a color so that let me get in my stash. I need a color so that my teacups are not floating. I don't love floating objects. So we're going to ground them a little bit. There we go. That makes me feel better. All right, so we're going to do our little circles. I think we'll do the circles in this color. Oops, I want the knot color. I must have erased some of my polka dots when I was cleaning up the checkbooks. It's all good. Got it fixed right here. And then we're going to do lines like so. And I'll erase all the extra stuff. And we're going to do, oops, I missed a line. That was fun. And polka dots are just hanging out in by themselves. So we're going to do the top line this color and the bottom line this color. Then we're going to do the polka dots this color. We'll do the handle this color. And then we'll use that, our sand color, to do the background. So we'll just do it like this. Goodness, I do not know what's going on. I got a little tickle in my throat today. Too much talking. And then we're going to go up here to the top and we're going to do our stripes. And we're going to use this deep gray color for our stripes. I feel like the top of the teacup needs to have like, I don't know. I feel like it needs to have like a bunch of flowers coming out of the top of it. I don't know if I can make that happen. Let me see. I went like this. Like this. Very, very gently. Grab my stencil. It's the stencil. Where's my teacup stencil? Don't want to like press down on it, but I do want to like pull this off of here without pulling up my paper. There we go. It just needed something out of the top of it. All right, we'll set that aside. Let's put the lid on it though, because inevitably it'll be me. I will jam my hand on it or something, and then I will have that in my. And then we're gonna do stripes. And my handle. Then we're gonna grab this color. I know, isn't that so cute? I like it just exactly what it needed, was just that little bit of floral at the top. I felt like it was just missing something. It was just a stack of teacups with nothing in it, and it needed to have a little bit more love. So, all right, friends, there we go. This is our layout for this week. That took me a whole long time, and I apologize because I'm pretty sure we've been on here for like almost an hour now. I'll check my, yeah, 45 minutes we've been on here. So that is our layout for the day. I'm excited. I'll go in and I'll color this stuff on the bottom, but I don't want to spend time doing that today. I can't wait to see what you guys create. I might actually go back and add this color in the background of that too. We'll see how I'm feeling. And then you guys will see it all finished on Monday when I share the post with you guys. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you all soon.